What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron Forex Scott. I'm shooting this video to share with you the updated version and some steps on how to utilize our PET system. PET's acronym stands for Perfect Entry Trading System. When I first customized this system, where I got it, it was used for binary options, but being that we were trading Forex, I created strategies that way we can utilize it in our foreign exchange trading. But now that we're a part of a binary options platform, this system will work hand in hand, not only with our Forex confirmations, but also with our binary signals as well. So this system is very straightforward. I know it may look like a lot, especially if you're brand new to Forex, but I'm going to share with you the things that we have inside of this system. You have your crossover arrows, which is these arrows here. You have a red arrow for a sell. You have green arrows for a buy. Those are confirmation arrows. You have your level ZZ semaphore, which is these signals here. You have your high probability trend reversal signals, which is the yellow threes. You have the mid probability trend reversal, which is the purple twos, and then you have your low probability trend reversals, which is your orange ones. That is your semaphore. Then you have your moving average 8, which is the yellow signal line. You have your moving average 50, which is your blue water wave line, and you have your moving average 25, which is your red line. And then, of course, you have your Algomat trend tube, which is this tube that you see at the top and the bottom. Price is bouncing in between the tube. It's similar to a Bollinger Band, but the way I try to explain it, especially if you're new, that way it doesn't confuse you. This tube is like a street. As you can see, this black in the middle of it going through is your street. This blue dotted line that's in the middle of the street is basically the middle of the street, and then you have your sidewalk. You have your red and your blue tubes at the top. This is your sidewalk at the top, and you have your red and your blue tubes. This is the sidewalk at the bottom. So basically, with this strategy, price and with these signals, price bounces from one side of the sidewalk to the middle of the street. Sometimes it will get to the middle of the street, get scared, like a kid comes in the street, sees a car coming, it gets scared, it goes back up to the sidewalk. But it never stays in the middle of the sidewalk. It usually, once you get a 3 at one side of the sidewalk, it has to cross the street so that the 3 can pop on the other side of the sidewalk, as you can see, back and forth. And it does this all of the time on every time frame in every currency pair. So as you can see, have a 3 at the bottom, 3 at the top, bottom, top, bottom, top, and then it ran out. It doesn't go far that far, but it does work effectively. This is a 5-minute chart. Let's go on the hour chart. I'm going to show you that it does this very effectively on every time frame. As you can see, hour chart, you have it at the top of your sidewalk, bottom of the sidewalk, top of the sidewalk, bottom of the sidewalk, top of the sidewalk, and it works on every time frame. Let's go on the daily chart. As you can see here, you have the top of the sidewalk. It went way down. This must have been news. Bottom of the sidewalk. Well, that would have been an excellent trade to take on a daily. See, top of the sidewalk, bottom of the sidewalk. So it works on every time frame. But the confirmations, I use this for scalping purposes so that you can see your results quicker, of course. So we're going to focus on the 5-minute chart right now. Are we still recording? Okay, yeah, we're still recording. Sorry about that. Now, what I do is I utilize not only the strong high reversal signals, but of course, if you're taking a trade, you do not want to jump in a trade as soon as you see a 3. You do not want to do that. You want to wait for confirmations. If you're familiar with Forex, if you're familiar with price action, there's multiple confirmations that you can get inside of the market that will give you an entry point. So right here, as you can see, say for instance, we have this 3. Whenever I get this 3 at the top of the sidewalk, then I know that this is a signal of a trend reversal. And price has to eventually come back, cross the street, and get to the other side of the sidewalk. So the first thing I do when I see this 3, as soon as I see the 3 pop up, I do not jump in the trade. This is a 5-minute chart. So you want to wait every 5 minutes. You want to wait till a candle closes before you take a trade. And I've learned that just going through trial and error. Whenever you're in the market, if say for instance you're on a 5-minute chart, but you're in the middle of a candle, you do not want to jump in the trade. And that's in any trading system, that's in any time frame, unless you are trying to catch it on a smaller time frame. Say for instance, if you see a trade set up on a 4-hour and you want to try to get it in a good spot, you want to drop down to the 15-minute. But if you drop down to the 15-minute, wait until the 15-minute candle closes before you jump in the trade. You don't want to just jump in the trade in the middle of a candle. You want to wait for confirmation. So here I have a 3. This candle closed. This 3 popped up at the top of my sidewalk. So I will wait another 5 minutes to see what this candle does. This candle closed here. And being that I know now that when this candle closed, because you can get a candle that come down the first 2 minutes of the 5 minutes and you think, oh, that's an engulfing candle. And then the next 2 minutes in the same candle, it shoots back up. So you want to wait for this candle to close before you decide to jump in the trade. So now that this candle closed, we see now we have an engulfing candle. Price action shows you engulfing candles is a sign of a reversal. So that's sign number 1. Sign number 2 is price closed below my signal line. That's sign number 2. So you could have put a sell stop 5 pips or 2 or 3 pips below this candle and waited for it to activate. This very next candle, it activates your order. And as you can see, the candle after that, you have another confirmation, which is your crossover arrow, because price is now crossing over your water wave. Usually, if price is above your 50 moving average, you're looking for buys. Once price goes below your 50 moving average, I'll call it the water. Once it goes underwater, you're looking for sales. If it's above the water, excuse me, you're looking for buys. So, but being that I know that this 3 popped up at the top of the sidewalk, I'm already ahead of the game. I'm already looking for sales before price even crosses over my 50 moving average or my water wave line. So I have confirmation number 1, engulfing candle. Confirmation number 2, price closes below your signal line, which is your yellow line. Confirmation number 3, you have your crossover arrow here. Confirmation number 4, price moved and closed below your water line. So you could have put a pending order here right below this candle, or you could have put a pending order or jumped in the trade right after this candle closed under your water line. So you have 1 confirmation, 2 confirmations, 3 confirmations, 4 confirmations that this is going in the right direction and that this signal is strong. So you can jump in the trade. If you would have jumped in it from here, you would have caught about 40 pips or so. If you had jumped in it after all 4 confirmations, you have a confirmation here, you jump in on this candle, that's about 25 to 30 pips. Not bad. On a scalp, this is what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30 minutes. You would have caught 20 pips to 30 pips in 30 minutes to an hour based off of this strategy. Now, as you can see, price is now at the bottom. So now that price is at the bottom, you can get out your trade. If you're still holding your sell here, you can get out of your trade and look for now buy opportunities. And this strategy, you can utilize it, as you can see, on one pair and just ride the trend up, down, up, down. If I was to take this algomat off and take everything off, you wouldn't really know where price is as far as your trend reversals. But now, as you can see how this algomat tool works, you know once it gets to one side of the sidewalk, it has to eventually cross over to get to the other side and vice versa. So now that we're here, we can take our sell order out, close it out in profit. We're about 30, 40 pips in profit. Now we're waiting for buy setups. So we have the 3. The 3 pops up here. Like I said, you do not want to jump in the trade as soon as this 3 pops up because it can repaint. You want to wait for confirmations. First confirmation is here. You have your engulfing candle. Confirmation number 1. Confirmation number 2, you have price closing above your signal line. Confirmation number 3, you got your crossover arrows. So you can then jump in for the trade because you know now that this 3 uh trend reversal signal is solid. It's not going to repaint after all of these confirmations. You got an engulfing candle, price closing above. You got your crossover arrows, price closing above waterline. This signal is strong. So after maybe engulfing candle, or even once you get this signal here, you can jump in for the trade. Couple of pips above your engulfing candle, ride it up. That's another 30 pips. As you can see, price came back down to your entry, but eventually it went back up and you still have your 30 to 35 pips and your 3 pops up at the top and you can close your trade. That's one way that you can utilize the system. Another way that you can confirm is utilizing these purple mid trend reversal signals in between your high trend reversal signals, which is your 3. So example, this is a perfect example here. Instead of taking these confirmation signals, because if you wait for price to go above the waterline, which is here, you're not getting uh much here. You would have ended up in a negative here. You would have hit profit, but you wouldn't have caught much. So if you would have waited for all confirmations and waited for price to close above the water wave line, you would have only caught about 15 pips, which is a good strategy utilizing if you're especially if you're brand new, you want to be more conservative, you want to wait for all confirmations to line up. But here's another way that you can utilize this system, and it can be more simple than the first strategy that we have. So if you have a 3 here at the bottom, of course you're waiting for the 3 to get to the top. So what I do is I wait for our mid signals, or your mid trend reversal signals, which is these purple tools, to pop up. I want one to pop up above my waterline, and then I want the second one to pop back below my waterline. My waterline is the 50 EMA. So I have my 3 signal here. I wait for my trend reversal to pop up above my waterline, which happened here. Once I get this signal here, now I'm waiting for my trade setup for the buy, based off of this signal. So once I get this purple signal here above my waterline, I am waiting for the purple signal to pop up back below. Once this purple signal pops up back below the waterline is when I get into trades. This is basically a mid trend reversal signal. You have your high trend reversal signal here. You have your mid trend reversal signal here. And as you can see, it created a higher low. So you have your low, you have your higher low. This gives you your higher low signal. You jump in for the trade and you run it up. This is basically telling you that the signal before was a higher probability signal. This is a mid-size or mid-range probability signal based off of this signal. So this signal is solid. We can jump in on this trade because we know that now that this signal is solid, we are here, we're riding till we get to the 3 at the top. And that's exactly what happened. Here's another example of that same strategy. I have the 3 at the top. I want to wait until we get a reversal, a mid or low reversal below our water wave, or our 50 MA, which is here. We got our first reversal here. This is basically telling us that this signal is strong, but we don't want to jump in here because this is about to reverse. So we want to wait for the second trend reversal above the waterline. As long as it's still below, you have a lower high here and it's still below here, this is where you will enter. And then of course you have your confirmation arrow here. You have your engulfing candle. You're in profit. If you had to jump in this trade based off of this strategy, you have your 3 here. You got your trend reversal signal number 1. You got your entry signal here. You're getting in the trade here. As you can see, no drawdown. You don't end up in the negative at all, and price drops from here. So if you was to put in your signal here, the close of this candle, you ride it down till you get another 3. That's about 50 pips to the downside. So that's just a brief explanation. We're going to do some live training, some live strategies utilizing the signal. If you are an active member, you will get this strategy and this system. If you're not an active member, become active, upgrade in the Rapid Funnels app, get in contact with me, and I will make sure you get this system. But this system is an 80 to 90% win ratio.